Yo, what's up? Nuclear Geek here. I was excited last night because I saw the release of Flux from Black Forest Labs, and I tried to run it using the Hugging Face demo, and then I saw some optimizations, and I got it to run once, and I could not get it to go again. So I sat down today and wrote a custom version that uses the Hugging Face example. This is the public repository of it. So we start here with the Flux pipeline, and then I combine the quantize and freeze modules from Hugging Face in the Quanto diffusers library to optimize it. So the first time the script runs, it takes a little bit of time to do those quantize and the freeze, and then once it runs, it's pretty fast, about 1 minute and 30 seconds for a 50-step generation, and like 30 seconds for 20 steps. So pretty fast on my 3090, and so I thought I would just release this open source and run through it real quick to explain it. So you basically git clone this repository. If you don't know how to do that, just Google it, and once you have it in your folder, all you have to do is hit start flux.bat. So we'll do that real quick. And I don't have it running right now, so you just double click that start flux.bat. Now, if you don't have the environment installed, this is where it will install the environment, all your dependencies and everything you need. As of today, it's all up to date, and it's all in the and if you edit this bat file, this batch file, if you need to, like if this is, maybe you're looking at this at a later date, you might need to update the torch install. So it is using just the latest as of today. So it runs and it installs everything if you have it. You also need to set a environment variable for your Hugging Face token, and then you also need to navigate to here to Black Forest Labs. And the first time you go here, you'll be prompted to authorize it, and you just have to basically have a Hugging Face account and authorize it to get access to the models. But once you're there, we'll go to our, we'll go back to the GitHub. So once you're there, you put your token into that env file and you just change it. So this one says .env, you just remove the .example, and that'll save it as an env file. And that's basically at startflux.bat. You run that, and you can see it's running. So right now we're quantizing the transformer, and then we'll freeze the transformer, and then we'll quantize the text encoder. This right here, the text encoder. And then we have a function for generating the image. And we take in all the inputs, and then we run a Gradio application here to capture the prompt and the inputs that you want, and then run and launch it. So the first time you run it, it takes a while because you need to do this quantization. I couldn't run it on my 3090 without doing this part. And then I found in the scripts, it's forcing you to do this every time. So basically we're doing this on the script launch. After it launches and it's running, then we'll have an application up that looks like this to actually run. And so then what you have is your input prompt, your steps that you want to run, and the default is 50. I had some success even at 20 and less, but it kind of gets grainy. You can change your height and width. I have not looked at this model at all for all the height and width setups, and then seed is 0, and then you can change it to whatever. I don't have random seed set up yet, and then guided scales at 3.5. So this is all just like out of the box stuff, but you can play around with it. Again, brand new model. I don't know a ton about it. I just saw it released. So now we just running transformer freeze, and then this takes another few seconds or so to run and get through it. So I'm just gonna pause here. Okay, and just like that, it actually only took a couple extra seconds, and we've quantized the text encoder, we froze the text encoder, and now we're running on 7861. I have 7861 because I have another application that runs on 7860. You'll most likely see 7860 here. So you can just put in localhost 7860, or you can just copy paste this URL. But either way, you're up and running. The only thing you need to do is put in an input prompt. It does really good with text. So you say let's say a black bear holding a sign that says free honey. Something like that, you know, and then hit submit. And we'll see in our program here, it's generating. Sometimes you gotta, come over here and hit enter. It just depends on your environment and your application. There's like some settings with command prompt that might kind of sometimes get hung in the process. So I would just kind of say that to people. If it's not moving, just come over here and hit enter a couple times and it might move you along. But so we have a 50-step generation now, and it's running, see, actually fairly fast. So the first time I tried to run this, I kept getting stuck at the first generation, or it'd maybe take me an hour, less or something to generate one. And so this is exponentially faster than what I could do previous to the quantizing of the models. And in the research paper that I reference in here, it establishes that there is not a lot of loss. It's in the code. There's a link to the research in the code. So once you get through, I'll just go show that real quick. So at the code where I have the quantizing, we have this link here. And this explains the quantizing, the quanto diffuser and how it works and everything. There's a little code example. As you can see, we're on halfway through the generations. So we came and pulled this part of the code out and applied it over to the Hugging Face demo. And that seemed to be able to get me where I needed to be able to run the model. Okay, and as you can see, we got through all 50 steps there in 1:59. So 2 minutes for this generation. And I've been seeing a little bit of discrepancy, like some are 1.5 minutes, whatever. And there you go. You have your bear. This one's a cartoony one. I could probably say a realistic bear if I wanted to change that. And it's just clean, like clean text and clean images, and I'm really impressed with it. I can't wait to play with it more, but I wanted to get the demo out there really fast so anybody could play with it and also be able to make generations locally. I know I was struggling, so if I'm struggling, I'm sure a lot of people, not that I'm great at this or anything, but I have built a few of these applications, and so if I'm struggling, I'm sure a lot of other people are. And so this is my attempt at making this just automated and easy to load the Flux model set from Hugging Face, load it into a Gradio application, and then run your model locally. And so you're not dependent on any API services. You're just running at the speed of your hardware. So I'm happy to answer any questions in the comments or whatever. Feel free to check out the GitHub. And if you have any questions or need any help with it, feel free to raise an issue. Thanks and have a great day.